And I suppose the project's been running for about a year. And I think what ICON wanted to do, they wanted to create a piece of work which is about all the people that lived in Chatham. Yeah, and of course Chatham has been host to migrant communities for hundreds of years, which not many people know about. So they thought what they'd do is they'd do some research about the different peoples that lived here from the 19th century onwards, and they've created a play about immigrants and immigration, which obviously at the moment is a very topical thing, but obviously Chatham's been host to immigrants for hundreds of years.
Now what we've done is actually listed them by street name, so if you live around here you might be able to find the street where you live. You'll see that quite a few of them are from what's now Eastern Europe, so Prussia, Poland, Russia. In 1891 these covered areas that are now modern day Lithuania, Latvia, Slovakia. Of course we've got quite large communities from those countries living here today, so I think it's interesting that that's not such a modern development. But I remember my granddad had this when I was little, and he used to keep it on top of the piano. So whenever I hold it in my hand, I really get a sense of all the people in my family who have maybe used it in the past.
I mean, history, now that we study, it's very going back to the war and what we did and what we achieved, but not necessarily the people and what that meant to be part of that.
Dowling was born in Australia. By the age of 34, he was a Master Sergeant in the Royal Engineers, having moved to Chatham with his wife and 2 children. He lived at 84 Luton Road.
It's just telling the history of all the people who moved to Chatham, moved to Kent, and their stories, the reasons they came from their countries. So moving. My emotions, it's just a roller coaster. One minute we were just laughing, and the next minute I had tears, and I was thinking, don't put the lights up, my daughter will comment that I'm getting emotional. It just was like that.
I am from Zimbabwe myself, and I am going home tomorrow. My country has just gained independence from the British, and this is great news, I must say. This is what my fellow countrymen have been fighting for a very long time. From the great Mbuya Nehanda and Sekuru Kaguvi up till now. There's going to be a wealth of opportunities. Schools, dams, hospitals, hydroelectric dams. They're going to build everything. It's going to be a feeding frenzy of jobs. I am a civil engineer myself, so this is perfect for me. And I can't wait to go back home and play my part in reshaping the future of my country.
It was just so powerful, the stories. And my daughter actually at one point asked me, is this real? Is this person, it was such good acting.
The liberation struggle had gotten messy. There was a lot of bloodshed.
I have heard your cries. It is I, the spirit of Kagove, father of the Chimurenga, leader of the liberation, carver of stones and the gatekeeper of the forest.
So what happened is that the team went around and they interviewed, quite a few people who had come to this country recently and from many years ago. And there's one particular story, which is a lady who works in a school over the road, and her story came alive in one of the tunnels down here. And she was the Roma cleaner who came to this country 12 years ago and brought her family. And it's an incredibly moving story. And sat in that room, listening to that story and hearing people's perceptions change about migrants is really powerful.
So Chatham is now our home. It's good. It's clean and nice, and we have work. We came to work and to give the children a chance. Anything is better than Lunek 9.
So you go from what you archetypally think is a migrant to somebody who's actually just a human being and trying to survive in a world with a family, and that's incredibly moving to watch. So that was a good story.
I was actually adopted from Lithuania when I was 4. All I know about my birth family is that my dad passed away before I was born, and my mum died in a car crash when I was little. I don't really remember much about my mum, but what I have from her is a necklace that she gave me, an old cassette tape with some Lithuanian music on it.
Well, I was quite surprised about looking back and seeing how many different people, like different cultures and everything, came to live in England. But I think it's really good because it just proves to people that there is no difference between everyone, because it goes all the way back and it's home if you believe it's home.
Not having any family in any country kind of felt like I was rootless, if that makes sense. So I decided that I was going to do some research. I wanted to find out more about where my birth family had come from and find out about my actual roots. And so I contacted the office of the Chief Archivist of Lithuania, because that is where the adoption records are kept. And your grandmother's name was Olga Vorobyova, and she was born in Moscow. Yes. Yes. Of course you're Russian. Yes, Russian. What? Your name is Svetlana. You did not know? Oh, you look confused. А по поводу вашего поиска, вы можете попробовать Национальный исторический архив Беларуси.
It is very moving, and just hearing someone else's experience of what they went through and everything, it makes you feel like you then understand everything they went through, and you can kind of feel the same feeling as they were feeling. So you understand more about it, and you kind of feel more for them and sympathy for them.
Firstly, word of refugee.
There is no refuge in the places we have travelled to.
Nor the peace nor the freedom we were looking for.
Is this world for? Who gets the world's heritage? Isn't it true that all children of this world? I just travelled to live inside of it. I want to fly as high as a bird until I disappear.
It's great. I mean, it's really, really positive. I mean, what's great about the audience, they're local, they live locally, and they've come to this event, and they listen and they engage, and they clearly enjoy it, and they've got friends and family in it, and it's a sort of a fantastic way of talking about something, but in a really sort of creative and positive way.
My father used to sing us this song. Ein Spinner spinnt, ein Spinnernetz, doch 1000 Raupen spinnen ein Sarentuch. Would you like to know what that means? Yeah. Well, one single spider can spin a single web, but 1,000 spiders can weave a sheet of silk. That's what us Lutherans believe in, community spirit. We call it Gemeinschaftsgefühl. But things didn't go well in my country. Our new king didn't share our beliefs. He decided that Lutherans were no longer to be trusted. So he banned our religion, burnt our prayer books, and threw our pastors in prison. I was 19 at that time. My father passed away. Mother tried to keep the farm going, but things became harder and harder. We all had to go out and work the fields, myself, my brothers, even my younger sister who was only 5. We ate what we grew, but that wasn't enough. The entire village was struggling. So our pastor made plans for all the families to travel to London.
So took you right into the story. It was just brilliant. And I like the idea of moving around between sets, actually moving into a different location at times, not just. I've never done this kind of living acting before, watching something that you move around to view as opposed to the cast coming onto the stage and then leaving. Brilliant.
In this country, in 15 or 20 years' time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man.
They talked of what they called multiracialism, which was simply a universal mix-up. Take humanity, put it in a bag, shake it together, and heaven knows what would come out.
I was just seeing the relationship between now and then. It's the same. It's just forming an understanding that these things do continue to happen, so we need to change our habits in order to help people across the world.
People have been wanting to be involved in the process from the very beginning, and it comes from a previous project that Icon Theatre did based on the 21 submarines that were scuppered in the Medway, and from that point we started to create a sort of body of community volunteers, actors, singers, young people, so on and so forth. So when this project came up, we went back to them who'd been in the last project and they said, yeah, we'd like to do it again. And then you've got some new people as well, which is great.
I thought it was spectacular. I loved the singing at the end of it. I thought that was really, really moving. I just loved it all. I think the participation of people into it, to start with, I felt that I was being spoken to and I wanted to answer.
You know, I think it's a shame it's only 4 nights it's running for. I really think it could go further than this, you know, so many more people could see it. Yeah, just brilliant. 10 out of 10.